Welcome, everyone, to episode 15 of Stay on Target, the official Hazard Time podcast. I'm your host, Liam Prano, and I'm joined today by a special guest, Alex Castilla from the Man Crew Productions. How you
Hello,
doing?
everybody.
So, today I figured, just for the topic of this podcast, we just talk about YouTube in general, I suppose.
Yeah.
Something we have in common. Uh, how did you first get into YouTube?
Uh, a few years ago, when I was probably like 14-ish, me and my friends started making like comedy. Like we'd always been filming like everything we did, and then
Right.
we decided we should start uploading them to YouTube, and so it started off like that, and then last year we made a new channel, the Man Crew Productions, to upload a film that my biology teacher told me to make for like a homework or something, and so that's how that started, basically.
This is your second channel.
Yes.
Oh, it's just like us. We have like I swear we have like five channels that
Yeah. I've
that we
seen
use.
has I've seen Hazard Time and I've seen Hazard Time Productions. I've not seen any of your other channels.
Yeah, Hazard Time and Hazard Time Productions are the only ones that I would consider active. I wouldn't even consider Hazard Time Productions active.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think between us, there's like 10 channels that we have and five that we've actually put stuff up on.
Yeah.
And then there's like our very first channel that I don't even think we can get access to because it's so old and it was before Google like took over YouTube.
Yeah. I heard you talking about that in one of your updates from like ages ago, because we were making a video and I was editing it and I wanted to put one of your older updates in the background of it. And
Right.
in one of them, you were talking about that like original channel, and I spent ages looking for it, but I couldn't find any trace of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be very tough to find that because it's just like a random channel with one video and I think one subscriber,
Yeah,
which is probably one of us. In the future, I plan on uh peppering clues here and there.
yeah,
So you started when you were like 14?
yeah, something like that. We've been recording. Me and my friends have been like filming stuff for years, but yeah, we didn't start uploading until we were about 14ish.
And how old are you now?
Right now I'm 16.
Oh, geez, you're only 16.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Oh, how I started. Trying to think of how old I was when I started. I started maybe 2012. I would have been 17.
yeah,
Boy, that's so long ago. It's crazy.
yeah. We had another channel once. We had an original Man Crew Productions channel, but I think we only uploaded one video on that.
Right.
And then something happened between us, and for some reason, two of us decided to get the channel like blocked, like banned by YouTube because we uploaded illicit content to it. So YouTube would take it down just to annoy one of us. I don't remember what happened between us that caused us to do that, but yeah. So
Wow.
technically, this is our third channel.
So are you still like talking with that guy?
Yeah, yeah. He's part of the Man Crew Productions now. But I don't remember what happened at the time between us that made us get the channel shut down.
So do you all have access to this? Do you all have access to this new channel, or is it just you?
It's me and this guy Tom, who's in pretty much all of the videos. We both have access to it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we all have access to Hazard Time,
Yeah,
but I'm the only one who has access. I mean, we all have access to Hazard Time Productions, but I'm the only
yeah,
one who has access to Hazard Time because that's like my actual I connect it to my Gmail account. I didn't really have the foresight thinking about it. I never, predicted it would go the way it went.
yeah. It's blown up a lot. Hazard Time recently. Like,
Yeah, it's Half-Life Alex, which is kind of like a double-edged sword for me because
yeah,
now because of Half-Life Alex, I have to commit to this for even longer
yeah,
because even after Half-Life Alex comes out, like let's say it comes out in 2020, it would be like at least another 5 years for a Half-Life 3 to come out if it were to come out. So I have to,
yeah.
because
Um,
if there was no Half-Life Alex, if that never happened, I could get to like 2024 or something and say like, I've done this long enough. I'm going to call it quits,
yeah,
and I would have no problem with that. But now I can't do that because I call it quits 2024, 2025 they announced Half-Life 3. That wouldn't be that surprising of a thing to do. So,
yeah. I don't remember how I found your channel originally, but I remember I discovered your channel once. I think it might have been from Reddit, but it was when you didn't even have 1,000 subscribers. You were still like really small, your
right.
channel. And I'd always, every single morning, I'd go on your daily Half-Life 3 update and I'd send it on WhatsApp to like one of my friends. Every single morning, I'd send him like the update, the first thing I did when I woke up, mainly just to annoy him.
Right.
And so that's how I know of Hazard Time.
So are you a fan of Half-Life or did you just
Yeah, yeah, I'm a big Half-Life fan. I've played all of them and follow like Valve News Network and all that stuff.
mm. So did you play Half-Life 2 when it first came out or anything or
Not when it first came out. No, I played it.
yeah, cuz you're a lot younger than me, so
Yeah, I played it on the Orange Box on the PS3. That's when
right.
I first got introduced to Half-Life. And then later, when I got like a good PC and I got Steam, I played the original Half-Life and all the like expansions and stuff like Blue Shift and that.
Yeah. I mean, I there's still so many stuff that I haven't even played of Half-Life, but I'm just a like I guess I would consider myself more a Half-Life 2 fan than a
Yeah,
Half-Life fan in general. I love that game.
yeah,
I mean, it's so much fun.
yeah, it is.
Uh, do you do like Steam and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I've got Steam. I've got like hundreds of games on Steam by now.
Hmm.
Use it a lot.
So the other guys that you do the stuff with, are they as interested in YouTube as you are? Or?
Uh, Not really. They sort of just help me. They're like actors, and some of them help write scripts and stuff. But it's pretty much my thing. I'm like right now. I'm at college. Well, not right now, literally right now. But I'm in college doing a course on filmmaking for the
Right.
next 2 years. So I'm like committed to filmmaking and stuff, whereas all the rest of them are doing like normal subjects like English and maths and stuff like that.
Right. So they're all going to college with you?
No, they're all at different colleges now.
Oh.
Because in England, when you turn 16, you leave secondary school and you can go to college or sixth form. Sixth form is where most of them have gone, which is where you do like A levels, which are just like more exams and like for more academic subjects. And college is for more practical stuff, like what I'm doing, filmmaking. So,
Have you thought about what you're gonna do when you get out? Like how you're gonna try and pursue this?
uh, Yeah, I'm hoping to get like an apprenticeship or something with some film company or TV channel or something and work up from there. I want to get into directing and writing.
I gotta keep an eye on this. 5 years from now, you're gonna take off, be a director, and I'm still gonna be doing Half-Life 3 updates. You can give me a role or something.
Yeah.
So, did the other guys like Hazard Time too, or?
Yeah. I've shown them all Hazard Time, and they're all very familiar with it now. I think I've forced them all to like you.
That's good.
I made a whole video about Hazard Time like a few weeks ago.
It hasn't come up yet, or?
No, it did the on my channel. I made the Hazard Time conspiracy or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
right, that one. I try and I try and keep up. There's so many good stuff on YouTube that I
yeah,
try and keep up with. It's just hard with time to watch every channel. Like I don't try and watch everything Valve News Network does because
yeah,
I'm not as invested in Valve in general as he is. But I do try and watch everything Valve does. Everything you do, some other channels that I like. But it's just hard all this stuff on YouTube and doing stuff of my own
yeah.
too, and work and college and this and that. It's a lot.
When did you decide you wanted to start putting like? Because recently you've had sort of like a story getting integrated into your daily Half-Life 3 updates. Is that something you've had like planned, or did you just suddenly decide you wanted to start doing that?
Well, honestly, when I started the updates in general, the idea was that I was going to be playing a character,
Yeah,
and you can kind of see that because in in what I call the season two, in like what I call the season finales, which are every every December 31st.
yeah,
I call it like the end of the season. Um, I'll like show up in the credits. It'll be Liam Prano as Clive McGolferson. So the idea was that I was supposed to be playing a character.
yeah,
I didn't know where I was gonna go with that, but I wanted to be a character. And so what I found was that it was hard to properly portray that I was a character and wasn't myself.
yeah,
So people would be like, "Oh boy, this guy's so depressed." He's gonna like, I'm not depressed. I'm fine. Relax, guys." And so I kind of abandoned that a little bit. But the stuff with this recent storyline, it was just kind of like spur of the moment. You know,
yeah,
I was in that location. I was like, I'll film an update here. Why not? And then I ended up going back to that location. It was like, you know what? Let's just film another one. And then I had the idea of going missing, and I talked to Richard and Dimitri about what they could do after, and then Dimitri does an update, and it's nothing like what we just discussed, of
yeah.
course. So we had to improvise a little bit. It's not really what I had intended, but I think it turned out okay.
Yeah, I think it's good. I like it. I've been watching it all unfold.
So I can just tell you're more serious about this YouTube stuff than I am, really, because we never do scripts. Like I'll be honest, we always just like improvise and just start up and say like, okay, what are we gonna do? Let's get this over with. Do something.
Yeah.
One day shoots.
Yeah, well, with the Man Crew Productions, when we make a video, normally, especially in the more recent ones, I write a script, but then most of us in the Man Crew Productions can't actually like be bothered to learn the script. So we followed the script's like basic ideas, but most of the actual dialogue's improvised anyway and
Right.
all done first take, so we're not that professional. But
And you're lucky. You're all still in the same area generally,
yeah,
right? I mean, we're all of Hazard Time's spread across the country, can't really do much together, and always tough to communicate sometimes, get things arranged. But so what kind of movies would you see yourself making?
I don't know. Mainly like horror and comedy. They're my two favorite genres.
Yeah, I just started not just started, but somewhat recently I just started getting into horror because horror was always one of the genres that I kind of stayed away from,
Yeah.
and then I just started getting into horror more and more.
How come you stayed away from it?
I guess I thought it would scare me more than it did.
Yeah.
Like, I think the best example is one of the earliest horror movies I ended up watching was Halloween,
Yeah.
and I watched that as a kid, and that was just kind of like I, you know, snuck the DVD out of my parents' room and watched it because I shouldn't be watching it,
Yeah.
and so I watched Halloween and I liked it, and I think last year I said like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna break down, I'm gonna watch Halloween 2. It's probably gonna be really scary. It's gonna scare me. Like, I'm like 20, 22 or 21 years old thinking this. But it's like, okay, I'm finally gonna break down. I'm gonna watch Halloween 2. I'm gonna push through, and it wasn't all that scary, and it wasn't even all that good in my opinion. Halloween 2. I don't know if you
Yeah.
like it, but
I love the Halloween films, but yeah, Halloween 2 is not as good as the original.
I mean, it starts off great. That opening scene where
Yeah.
he says that you don't know what death is great, but the whole movie is built on, or well, not the whole movie, but it's a lot of it is based on this premise of this random guy who's also wearing a Michael, who's also wearing a William Shatner mask, gets hit by a car and like explodes, and they just have to assume it's Michael Myers because that's the only logical thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't get past that. It just it just really took me out of it. And then whole movies takes place in a hospital, an extremely empty hospital, and I've worked in a hospital. Like, there's no way this hospital would only have like 5 people in it.
Yeah. I like that
But
you called it a William Shatner mask rather than a Michael Myers mask.
yeah, uh, I like I even like the Rob
Yeah.
Zombie remake.
I love the Rob Zombie remake. Yeah. I
I feel
think
like a lot of people don't. I feel like a lot of people don't like that, but I think it's pretty good.
I like everything by Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie's great.
No, that's the only thing I've seen of him. I might see the Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yeah.
I want to see that sometime also. So what are some of your favorite horror movies then?
Uh, I really like anything by Eli Roth, like Hostel. I like really like gory, violent horror films. Like that's probably why I like Rob Zombies so much as well.
Right.
I'm not as into like the new modern sort of like paranormal horror films, like the Conjuring films and stuff like that.
But
I
I don't
don't think
watch
they're.
I don't watch that stuff either. Really. Did
Yeah,
you see The Witch came out in 2016, I think?
yeah, I've seen that.
That was really good.
Yeah, have you seen Hereditary, the one that came out a couple of years later?
Yeah, I
Or
saw
so?
Hereditary.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
And The Lighthouse, I don't know if that really counts as a horror, but Lighthouse just came out recently, or this
I've not
year.
seen that.
I mean, it might not have reached you guys. I don't know about when stuff gets released versus here versus there, but it's by the same guy who directed The Witch.
Yeah. Films normally come out around the same time in England and
Yes,
America, I think.
sometimes it comes out for you guys first. Like
Yeah,
I think a lot of the Marvel movies come out first for you guys.
yeah, but it's not normally more than like 1 or 2
Yeah,
weeks different between us.
'cause I usually end up because I don't care that much about the Marvel movies, so they'll be releasing they'll be released over there like a week early, and I'll go on Wikipedia and read what happens, and then watch it in theaters, just because I'm kind of more curious about what happens than actually seeing it. But yeah,
Yeah. I'm not that big on Marvel movies. I've never
yeah.
really got it.
But the Witch is like another movie that I kind of pushed myself to watch. Like I saw the trailer, like, oh boy, this looks ridiculous and
Yeah.
extremely scary. But it also looks really good. So I'm just gonna like push myself and watch it, and it wasn't scary so much as it was like extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah, I
like
think
in,
that's what most of their horror films by A24 are like. They're like, it's the
man,
same with Hereditary.
they're really good. Especially,
Yeah.
I feel like more so with The Witch for me, because after seeing The Witch and then going to Hereditary, I kind of like, okay, this is going to be a little bit more like The Witch, isn't it? This is going to be, because The Witch, you're kind of at this like unease, like, oh my gosh, something crazy is going to happen, and
Yeah.
nothing crazy really happens, but that doesn't like ruin the experience or make the movie less good for you. But so with so going into Hereditary, you kind of know it's going to be a little bit more like, nothing crazy is going to jump out and scare you or anything. It's just going to be kind of like that unsettling.
Yeah.
There was a Midsummer this year. I didn't end up seeing that one
Yeah,
though.
well, I didn't see that one either. I want to watch it. I'll get around to it at some point.
Is that out on DVD yet?
I th-
Or
I'm not sure. I think so.
I think it might be on Amazon Prime. Now that I think about it.
I don't think it's not on Amazon Prime here in England, but you in America they get like you get different stuff, don't you? On like
Yeah,
Netflix and stuff.
that doesn't. That's another thing that never made sense to me. Why does like Canada Netflix have different stuff than I do, and you
Yeah,
know, like you guys don't even get Disney Plus for like next
yeah,
year, I
until
think.
March. Yeah,
I don't understand that. It's just like, well, bunch of guys over there are gonna be pirating the Mandalorian until
yeah,
March.
a lot of people are pirating it. Yeah,
Because it always bugs me, and like I want to go watch something on Netflix, and it's like, it's only on the Australian Netflix. Like, well, but why?
yeah. Do you use like a VPN to try and like get past that, or do you just
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not like technical and know how to use computer stuff.
yeah,
I mean, if there's something I need to do on the computer or figure out something, I usually ask Dimitri, and he knows how to do it.
yeah?
But yeah, what kind of older horror movies you like?
Uh, I like any like slasher films from like the 80s and stuff, and I like most horror films from the 70s. And then I like the Hammer horror films from the 1950s, like them sort of films I like as well. So I'm a big horror like fan.
I never really saw the Hammer movies. That's like the
Yeah, they were.
Dracula and Frankenstein stuff, right?
Yeah, it's all the remakes of the classic monster film movies from. It was in the 1950s. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I did see the I have seen a lot of the original 1930s
yeah,
Universal, because like Frankenstein is really good and surprisingly
yeah,
holds up a lot today. Uh, 'Cause I got my dad like a box set of all the stuff. So we went through and watched them, like House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Son of
yeah,
Frankenstein, all that, the original cinematic universe.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now you do like rummage sale movies videos.
Yeah, I, I, I I've had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah,
You learn things. You learn. You, I think the two of the biggest things I've learned is one, to be wary of sci-fi movies because I mean science fiction movies because sometimes they're like on the sci-fi channel, so they can be a little longer. You know,
Yeah,
I could end up watching a 3 hour science fiction movie, and I don't want to do that.
yeah,
And then another thing I learned is when you got like 5 or 10 horror movies in a box together, they're probably not all that good because they're in a box together.
yeah,
But did you see that one where I had the 10 horror movies?
yeah. I did.
Have you seen any of those horror movies?
I don't think I had. No.
Yeah, boy, that must say something because you're like a horror guy too, and
Yeah,
oh, I still that one of the worst movies I've ever seen was that Howling 4. It was just painful.
yeah,
And it's one of those movies too where like like a couple weeks later I was looking at it and looking at the movie and like, what? This movie was only 70 minutes long or whatever. Felt like I was watching that for 3 hours. Oh my goodness. 90 minutes or whatever. I was like, oh, couldn't believe that was so short. But oh, it was crazy.
have you seen like The Room and like really bad films like that?
Uh I haven't seen The Room. I've seen, people, I've seen clips of The Room. I saw The
Yeah,
Disaster Artist, that James Franco movie.
yeah, that's good. I like that.
I've seen some Riff Tracks stuff.
Yeah,
Riff Tracks is pretty funny. I wanted to go see, they do the Riff Tracks live. I wanted to go see Riff Tracks live, The Room.
yeah,
I didn't think it worked out. But my theater doesn't do the Riff Tracks stuff anymore.
yeah,
So I was able to watch a couple of them, like Mothra and Carnival of Souls and a couple other things, but yeah, it stopped.
yeah. Me and like the Manco Productions, we always watch all of them. Like Tommy Wiseau, the guy who made The Room, we watch all his stuff because it's just so bad, but it's good.
How much more has he done? I only thought he did The Room and that new thing, like uh, Best Fiends or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
we watched both volumes because there's two volumes of that Best Fiends thing,
It's two
and
volumes? What?
yeah, yeah, we wanted to be like Tarantino with Kill Bill.
Mm.
But the second volume, Tommy Wiseau's barely even in it. It's just really confusing, but it's good. It's really great.
Yeah. I think I first started getting into horror movies probably with the Saw movies.
Yeah,
Like some of the earliest horror movies I can remember watching is, and these are all movies that I like a lot because the genres of movies that I always kind of stayed away from just for whatever reason were horror movies, westerns, and war movies.
yeah,
And I mean, I didn't completely stay away from them, of course. So if there was a movie within that genre that I had seen, like one of the five that I've seen, it was, I liked it a lot, and it really like pushed through my hesitation with the genre in general.
yeah. War movies is like pretty much the only genre that I avoid. Really, I don't really, never really been into war movies.
Yeah, I've seen what oh shoot, I just had Full Metal Jacket, of course,
Yeah,
was really good. And all Kubrick Kubrick, of course, has some really great stuff.
yeah. I love Kubrick and that.
And then I seen Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
Uh, what was the other one? The the Bomb movie with Jeremy Renner. He's
Uh,
like He's like a bomb guy. And
I don't know.
shoot, I'm blanking on the name. I think it was Kathleen Bigelow.
Wait, I can look it up on IMDb.
I'm trying to see if it's on the tip of my tongue too. I know Jeremy Renner, Anthony Mackie, Evangeline Lilly, a bunch of MCU people.
But who's the main actor in it?
Uh, Jeremy Jeremy Renner. I'm just gonna look it up.
Is it
My
the Hurt
memory.
Locker?
Yeah, the Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
Apparently, my memory isn't what it used to be. Getting old already. I don't know how that happened. Uh, yeah, some of my favorite horror movies is Saw. One of the early ones I watched. Jeepers Creepers. Those movies. Joyride.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Saw films were some of the first ones I watched as well.
If I could go back and pick one movie to watch in theaters without knowing what happened in it, it would be the Saw movies. Because I was I was kind of spoiled on the twist in the first Saw movie,
Yeah.
and I know if I had watched that movie in theaters without knowing the twist, it would have blew my mind.
Yeah.
I would have never stopped talking about that movie because
Yeah, that's what I was like, because I didn't know the twist when I first watched it, and yeah, it was great. I
that
loved it.
twist is right up my alley.
Yeah.
I would have lost my mind with that.
Have you ever seen the film Freddy Got Fingered?
No, I heard that was really bad too.
I love that film. In like the recent years, it's got like a cult status. It's really popular now.
Yeah, I I see that on lists of worst movies of all time. You see that, and the Avatar and Battlestar Earth or
Yeah.
Battlefield Earth.
I think that film, Freddy Got Fingered, I think it doesn't like deserve to be on them lists because it was sort of meant to be bad. Like, because do you know much about Tom Green, the guy who made it?
I was actually just going to ask you that. I was just going to ask you, isn't Tom Green an actor in that? Because I just
Yeah, he wrote and like it was his film completely. Like the studios, because he'd made like the Tom Green show, which was really popular at the time, and then the studios were like they wanted him to make a film, and he didn't really want to make a film, but they paid him all this money to make a film, and so he decided he'd make like the weirdest, like most nonsensical film possible, and so
mm,
that's what Freddy Got Fingered is.
mm. Yeah, because I just saw one of my recent rummage sale movies, one that hasn't gone up yet, had Tom Green in the lead role, and I was like,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it wasn't one of his bad ones because looking him up, it seems like he's been in some really bad movies. But I was just looking him up like, oh, he wasn't that bad in this. Let's see what else he's done. Like, oh, he's done some pretty bad stuff.
yeah. What film was it that you saw with him in? That was in.
Uh, it was Bob the Butler.
Oh, I've not seen that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what I'm going for with these rummage sale movies.
Yeah,
Just to
like
find
really obscure, like
these random movies from the 2000s that no one's ever heard of. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, I think that one is probably gonna. I, I'm gonna try and record, the stuff I need for that and put it up Friday. So I guess that's a little sneak preview for everybody for
yeah,
one of the five movies. It was honestly one of the better it was honestly one of the better weeks of stuff. I got I actually managed to find some decent movies without breaking the theme of being obscure stuff.
Yeah.
So a couple diamonds in the rough there, I guess. So what kind of TV do you watch? You watching anything right now? Or?
Uh, I don't get around to watching TV that much anymore. I used to watch TV a lot, but I don't know. I don't feel like I have that much time these days because I'm always
Yeah,
either filming something or at college or watching films or writing or whatever.
right. I can feel that.
Yeah.
Is- are there any shows that you used to watch you like a lot or?
I like a lot of like British shows and stuff, and I don't know. I've never watched Lost. I want to watch Lost. I know you're a big fan of that.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend watching Lost. Lost is very
Yeah.
good, but that's just me, personal
Yeah,
bias.
well, I think I'd be into it. Like, I like things with like twists and stuff, and I've read a lot about it, and it seems like the sort of thing I'd be into.
Twin Peaks is really good.
Yeah, I started watching that, but
Twin
yeah,
Peaks is Twin Peaks is really really good.
yeah,
I mean, I know Lost is my. I'll always say Lost is my favorite TV show, but I think Twin Peaks is probably like the best TV show that's been made.
yeah.
And
I like Breaking Bad and stuff as
yeah,
well.
Breaking Bad was okay. I was kind of I was kind of disappointed a little bit with the way Breaking Bad ended,
Yeah.
and
What? What was wrong with it?
well, for me, the whole thing with Breaking Bad, it was kind of I feel like Breaking Bad was kind of style over substance.
Yeah,
Like not a lot happens in some of these episodes, and that's kind of how they're structured for binging specifically. Because an episode of Breaking Bad, you'll have nothing happen for 30 minutes, and then the last 10 minutes will be really exciting and make you want
yeah,
to watch the next episode. And
yeah. I
then,
think that was like one of the first TV shows to introduce that like format, wasn't it? Like designed for binging.
yeah, it because it was on ABC, no AMC,
Yeah,
and when it was first on AMC, it didn't do all that well. And then and then eventually it came to Netflix, and then it started getting really popular because people were binging it. It just, I don't think it works in the week by week format. I think
yeah,
people would lose interest and forget about it. But so yeah, I always just saw Breaking Bad, just style over substance. A lot of artsy shots, angles and POV stuff, and
yeah,
extended shots. I don't know,
yeah. It does have a lot of that.
but yeah. You get around to playing new games?
Um, sometimes I don't play games that much these days, but yeah, I think the latest game I've played is like Far Cry 5. I think that's. I
Far
don't
Cry
have time to play games that much.
That's is Far Cry 5. That's the one where they're like in the like New Hampshire or something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I haven't played that one. Played up to 4.
yeah.
I don't know. The newest game I played is, geez, it might be what, like Fallout 4 or Halo 5 or something.
Yeah. I didn't think Fallout 4 was very good, really.
Oh, I like
Like
Fallout.
compared to New Vegas.
Fallout 4 is my favorite Fallout game, I think.
I didn't
Cause
think that the story was that good, and the
mm,
choices you can make aren't very like
yeah,
impactful.
I used to like Fallout 3 a lot,
Yeah,
but I guess just gameplay wise, there's so much you can do, and Like when I go back and play Fallout 3, like I find myself trying to do the stuff that I can do in Fallout 4 that I've done as like instinct. Like I find myself trying to, aim down the sights or trying to sprint.
Yeah,
So it's kind of ruined me for Fallout games a little bit with all this stuff.
yeah,
I don't really play new games all that much.
yeah. I don't because if I play games, I mainly play them on my PC, and that can't really handle the new games.
Yeah,
Like,
that's exactly what it is for me too. Because I mean, I got my Xbox, all my Xboxes,
yeah.
but everything's kind of here and there, and it would be a hassle to gather everything up and assemble everything. And
What's up with all them Xboxes you had? I remember in one of your videos you had like a big stack of Xboxes in the background.
yeah, for a while I had a stack of Xboxes there. I moved it to the background for my rummage sales. I just like the original Xboxes, and there was a point where I was looking online and I think there were like five Xboxes for sale. You get like five Xboxes for $20 or something. I was like, that's a pretty good deal. I might as well do that. Why not? I got five Xboxes. This huge box of Xboxes came in the mail, and
So
yeah,
what, do you just leave them lying around just to show off to people?
yeah, just to have. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
I mean, that was my original console, the Xbox.
yeah,
I mean, it was my brother's console because he's older. He got the Xbox until eventually, as I saved up enough money to get the 360,
yeah,
the Xbox One. But yeah, I mean that's where I first played Half-Life 2 was original Xbox.
yeah. I remember on the video when you had the Half-Life 3 update when you had all the Xboxes in the background. I remember reading all the comments and everyone was like asking about the Xboxes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
uh, that video that must have been like when Half-Life Alex was announced, and I kind of blew up in subscribers a little bit, wasn't that?
yeah. I think it was one of like your special. It wasn't like one of the normal updates. It was like I don't remember what it was, but it was something special that had more views than normal and it was longer than normal. I think it might
Yeah,
have been when you were doing a Q&A or something.
yeah.
What editing software do you use?
I have Vegas.
Yeah. For years I used Vegas, but recently I've switched to like Premiere Pro and all that because that's what they use at college, so it's just easier.
Yeah, I'm not, gonna shell out money for anything fancy.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
usually when I want something edited, I'll just send it to Dimitri and have him edit, which he just uses Vegas too. So eventually he was just like, okay, here. I guess he got tired of it and like, okay, I'm gonna help you do
yeah.
some of this editing.
Does it crash all the time for you?
Not really, because I'm not really doing anything that strenuous, I don't think. I'm
Yeah,
not doing anything that crazy. I still kind of like don't really know what I'm doing, so it's just kind of simple stuff, trimming and cutting and splitting.
do you edit in like your normal daily Half-Life 3 updates? Do you edit them at all, or do you just upload them straight without editing?
Uh, I think I used to edit them more,
Yeah,
which like back in the day, it was just editing out me, turning on the camera
yeah,
and me turning off the camera. So I kind of stopped editing just to, like if it's just like a 30-second video, I just stopped editing it. So like what I'll do now is I'll press the timer to the 10-second timer on the camera to start recording so I can be in like a normal position, and then
yeah.
I'll start it. And then towards the end, I'll just kind of like let's try and like lean forward
Yeah,
without
I
it being
noticed that
noticeable as
in
much.
the update that you uploaded that I saw this morning, so the yesterday's.
Yeah.
update, I noticed at the end of it you leaning forwards and turning off the camera. I'd never noticed it before until just today.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll forget, so it's kind of like a last forward leaning up. 'Cause like normally I'll be like, okay, start leaning forward. So I'll start leaning forward like 10 or 20 seconds in advance, so it's much more subtle. But every
Yeah,
once in a while I'll forget, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta kind of do this as quickly as possible, and yeah,
yeah,
and e- even if I'm like doing a long video, I always try and do it in one take and not have to edit because I'd really rather not edit.
yeah,
So I usually try and do the like the rummage sale movies and the top 15s and all that. I try and do in just one take, which
yeah,
I think kind of works for the rummage sale movies because I'm kind of like rambling a little bit,
yeah,
which I think is better. Somebody commented something like, you should have like a script or whatever, which, yeah, probably, but I don't know.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's not really me, planning out too much.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, I don't really care all that much.
yeah.
I'm not really all that invested. Like,
You've got like over 10,000 subscribers now, though, don't you?
yeah, 11.9K,
Yeah,
I think is what it. But that doesnn't really it kind of like doesn't really matter to me. Like, I don't really care about subscribers or views.
yeah,
I don't like plug my videos, like say, hey, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't.
yeah. Yeah, well, you've been going for ages with like barely any subscribers, haven't you?
Yeah,
Before people started like picking you up, and because you
yeah,
really suddenly got that boost of subscribers when you got shouted out, didn't you?
yeah. I get a bunch of little, every once in a while I get little boosts. They're like shots of adrenaline.
Yeah,
I got the first one from Austin McConnell,
yeah, I
which was
remember
great.
that because one of my friends texted me when because he was subscribed to that channel. I'd never heard of it, but he knew that I watched you, and he sent me a message saying that you got a shout out, and I suddenly saw that you'd had this boost in subscribers.
Right.
Yeah,
That was crazy. And I could tell that like he got what I was doing too, because
yeah,
he was talking about it, and you could hear him kind of like holding back the laughter a little bit, which is.
yeah.
And then I got a second big boost, which was, I think it was just a Reddit page, just a Reddit shout out.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, I saw in your comment section, or it might have been on the Discord, people were saying it was like on r/gaming, someone posted about you and it got like loads of it was on like the trending page of Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then of course this most recent one just happened to coincide with Half-Life Alex.
yeah,
I guess because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are aware of what I'm doing, but don't watch all that much,
yeah,
which is kind of what I want to push with my other stuff. Because like the other stuff, like the rummage sale movies, that's the stuff I, you know, that's the stuff I really care about. Like, that's the stuff I want people watching.
yeah.
I mean, that's the stuff that I feel like are going good. Are you planning on getting Half-Life Alex?
I don't think I'll be able to run it, so
Yeah,
I'd have to buy like VR headset and everything.
I'm kind of in that same boat.
Yeah,
I'm hoping, this Patreon will come through for me.
yeah,
I've been playing original Half-Life 1. I want to get a good build up of parts before I start uploading them, so I don't want like a break.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, it's been very interesting playing Half-Life 1.
yeah, yeah. I love. Half-Life 1. I played it all at once. I think I completed the whole game in like a week when I did play it.
So you have a PlayStation. That means
Yeah.
you did get to play Decay, didn't you?
I played Decay on my PC.
Is it on the PC?
I think I might have got it from like ModDB or some like website like that.
Right, yeah.
I have played it.
Because I guess I'm not gonna be. I guess I said I was gonna play all the Half-Life expansions, Decay, Blue Shift, and Opposing Force. But I guess I'm just not gonna play Decay because I don't know how to get that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like I looked on Steam, like what? They don't have it on Steam? Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it's good?
Uh, I don't remember it as well as I remember. Like, I think Blue Shift was good. Opposing Force and Decay, I didn't think were that great. None of them
Mm.
are as good as the original Half-Life game. So
I mean, I kind of figured if Decay was that great, Valve would have ported it onto Steam at some point.
yeah.
But yeah, what are you filming? You film anything interesting?
Uh, we're probably going to film the Christmas special because we had a Christmas special plan that we'd been making for like a couple of months now, and then just recently, one of the guy Lewis, one of the like main guys in the Mancre Productions, his mum found out about the Mancre Productions because me and Tom we found his sister on Instagram and we text her telling her to because he'd never told his family about the YouTube channel, and so we text his sister telling her to check out the Mancre Productions and show it to her parents because he's really embarrassed about it and stuff.
Right.
And we thought they'd be cool with it and they'd just like embarrass him a bit. But his mum took it like really badly and like she found some of the stuff like offensive and stuff, and so she's like demanded that we get rid of everything with him on
Oh
our
boy.
channel. And then we said we'd delete all the videos with him in, and then we just didn't. We ignored her basically. And then a few weeks later, she found out that we'd done that, and so she got annoyed and she was like demanding my address and stuff, but no one gave it to her, luckily.
So,
And so
wow.
so now we've had to cancel the Christmas special that we were making for like the last 2 months because he can't be in it anymore. And so we're planning on making something new for the Christmas special today, but it'll be a lot shorter and more improvised.
So you're just not gonna have him in anymore?
Yeah, we can't have him in the videos anymore because she's like threatening legal action and stuff. So she's a bit crazy like that.
Boy, what was so offensive that she got?
I don't know. Like in the Halloween special, we talk about like the whole idea for the Halloween special was one of the characters kills Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, and then like that causes the whole like storyline of then like Boris Johnson's bodyguard hunts him down like the slasher film style. And I don't know, I think she's a fan of Boris Johnson or something because she found that really offensive. And
Was this the most recent holiday? I mean,
yeah,
Halloween special?
yeah,
Yeah. I'll be honest, a lot like I'll watch your videos, but a lot of this stuff, goes over my head because
yeah.
just because I don't know all this stuff.
Yeah, well, also in the Halloween special, the most recent one, the microphone was. I broke my microphone by filming in the rain with it. And so
Oh
the
boy.
audio was pretty bad in that. So some of the dialogue's hard to understand. But I've got a new mic now, so that's all right.
I
But
like
yeah,
the
and also she saw on the Mancre Productions Instagram page, we had a post that was because I found this random video on my computer in my files from ages ago that was like really weird taken out of context, and it's from this video called Homo Malus we've made, which is Latin for like evil man or something like that.
that was a weird one.
And at the end of this random, like, out of context clip that wasn't used in it, Tom says, "Let's go hunt some homos." And so my friend's mum saw that out of context clip that even had like the caption "out of context man crew," and she just heard that we were saying "let's hunt the homos" or whatever, and so she decided we were being like homophobic with that, and so yeah, she wasn't happy.
Right.
It's more because she was worried about like her son like not being able to get a job in the future because they'd search his name and they'd find all this. But
So I better officially end the podcast before we go. Let's say thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you next time.
yeah, bye.
All my podcasts, that's the thing I noticed. They always end so weird. They always just abruptly end. There's no kind of